everybody, guess what? You guys convinced us.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
So I guess you'll see this, Thursday?
They'll see this Thursday now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple quick things. First off, for you people who live in the Gaithersburg, Montgomery County area, and you haven't heard of Soldier Fit or haven't tried it, and you think you're fit and you're badass and you're Cat Johnny, whatever, fuck you. Give that shit a try. All y'all want to call me fat, this, that, other thing. Anytime you're in Montgomery County, come on by. Just come on by. We'll go have a class about, let's see, that was 6:30 this morning. What were you doing at 6:30?
Yeah, you were getting your ass busted when Danny and them were laying down the pain.
Danny's at home sleeping.
Danny, I hope you're watching.
No, I'm going to let him know he needs to watch. Danny, you're home snoring. I still need my fucking t-shirt. Talking about you need to do, no. Just bring a damn t-shirt already.
Right.
Anyway, happy birthday, Jesse. You are now 24.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
And for all y'all people who want to know Jesse is, it's my fiance. And if you don't believe me, fucking eat a dick.
Eat a dick. Yeah. Okay, you know what? We got a new segment that George and I are going to be doing on Wednesdays called Guess Who the Fuck I Am. Watch. Guess who the fuck I am, George? I don't feel a thing. It feels solid. It feels stable, no pain.
Talking about your knee?
That's one of the reasons why I took so long off.
So who's the doctor you found?
So I had to come back.
No, who's the doctor you found to make your knee feel better?
What do you mean?
Just saying, because your doctor in Canada got busted, and your game went in the shitter about the same time. So who's the doctor you found in Florida to help you with your knee?
Well, I'm not really going to answer that right now. We're going to get back
All right,
to
then
my golf game.
Okay, who's the white girl?
What white girl?
Whoever's making your knee feel better.
I no longer take
white girls.
Dealing with white girls, no.
Yeah.
Especially Perkins wages.
He's Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods
had a hell of an interview. He's going on the interview circuit. One of my favorite lines ever is when he was on his decline. One of the reporters goes, "So, since you're considered to be one of the worst golfers in the world, what do you think?" He goes, "You know what? Even though I might be the worst golfer in the world, I bet I can beat you." So,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, he says he's back.
Now, he says he's back, and I'm going to ask George this question. Let's look at some of the things that he's faced with. He hasn't played in 3 months. Mm-hmm. He fired his longtime caddy and good friend Steve Williams, which is crazy. His knee and Achilles have both been giving him a hell of a time. He hasn't won since August of 2009. Ooh. And he has fallen to 28th in the world rankings. So, with all that being said, when Tiger tees up, which you guys will be watching, will be this morning, how do you think he's going to fare?
We'll find out. I think you'll know in 4 holes or less.
Yeah.
Put it this way, if he, in my opinion, if he is +2 or +3 by the time he's done with his first 9, his knee or Achilles will act up and he'll pull out.
Yeah, he'll pull out. Kind of like I should have done, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that. I got a line for that. Come on now, you're killing me.
Okay.
That's what I think. Because, I mean, that's in my opinion, that's what he did earlier. Because he was trying to play through the pain, whatever the shit that means.
Right.
And he wasn't doing well, and he pulled out of a tournament. So I hope he's good for golf. If golf's going to be what they want golf to be, they need Tiger Woods. I
think with people like McElroy coming up and getting in the spotlight now, I think everybody wants to see Tiger and these young guys face off. Like you saw him, Tiger's gone through several people. It's been Mickelson, it was Vijay Singh at one time.
Next door neighbor.
Right.
You just said he was going through.
As in golf opponents. Not just wrecking, anonymous fucking
sitting in the corner dressed up in a suit watching 2 women go at it. That's when you know you have too much fucking money.
Yeah, too much.
No one's going to,
So we'll see how Tiger ends up doing in this tournament. I guess probably we'll know sometime by late Friday, early Saturday where he's standing and how his knee's holding up.
I don't think he's even going to make it to Friday.
Let's move to the NFL. Okay, your boys. And you know what?
North Miami. Look, just stop. This is my problem with the media. Just let the shit go. And Andy Reid's already like, y'all can stop that shit.
Yeah.
He's trying to nip it right now in the bud because what it boils down to is people want to play with Mike Vick. I would rather be on Mike Vick's sideline when he pulls off some Mike Vick shit than standing on the other sideline and going, damn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you what. One thing I will say about Mike Vick, and we're going to talk about the Eagles because the Eagles are actually probably the on the front page of the NFL right now because they've never been a team to acquire so many make so many transactions and acquire so many players during free agency, and they did it. And you're going to ask the question, okay, none of these guys have had time to practice. Nobody's had time to practice. Yeah. So Andy Reid is taking an approach that, hey, look, you know what? We had the cap. We have a great cap guy. We were way under the cap. These players were available. We could use them. We had stuff lined up, what we needed at what position. So we did it. We took advantage of them. There's nothing wrong with that. Andy Reid is the kind of guy that's had success without these players. Exactly. So why not add some stud players to your team?
I think Ronnie Brown's going to add a dimension to the offense. For all you fantasy people, LaShawn McCoy is still a top 10 back. He's not going to take a whole lot of things away. But he adds, honestly, probably the top tailback to run a Wildcat-style offense and to spell McCoy. Today you need 2 or 3 decent tailbacks to get through a regular season. And as for Asante Samuel, he says he wants to be wanted. Well, no shit, everyone does. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to stay on the team till we have till the Eagles have a major injury.
George be on the sidelines coaching.
Yeah, and then once they have an injury, you're going to get shopped.
Right.
And Andy Reid's already said, look, people have called. We listen. We don't have to react, but we're going to listen.
Right.
And the Eagles don't just give shit away. I mean, look, they were ready to hold on to Kevin Kolb, but after they gave him Rogers Cromartie and a second-round pick, I think.
They got the better end of the deal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, only because,
Kevin Kolb's played, 5 games? 7 games?
He's played 7 games. He's won 3. I mean...
Kyle Orton's pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kyle Orton is definitely... it's funny that you say Kyle Orton is definitely getting a bad rap in Denver.
Oh, my God. He's getting hammered in the ass by Tebow. The fans are chanting during practice, we want Tebow.
Right.
Dude, just send Kyle. I don't give a shit what you get for Kyle Orton. That's not going to work.
This is the thing, and maybe some of you people that know football and some of you people that don't know football, this is the thing that's good about what made Mike Vick good last year and why people sometimes say, when you have guys like Peyton Manning, you have guys like Tom Brady, you have guys like Matt Ryan, these in-pocket quarterbacks. It's not so much that people always say, well, those are the type of quarterbacks that are good in the NFL. And why they're good in the NFL, and Kyle Orton is that type of quarterback because he stays in the pocket. What that does is it makes your receivers be able to run better routes. They can run better routes. When somebody breaks out of the pocket and does stuff, it destroys everything.
Unless it's Deshaun Jackson, Macklin, Selleck, McCoy.
Well,
we're back with the Eagles again.
Right. Those guys, but this is the thing I'm saying. Those guys are great because they're young and they're quick. But the fact that Vic stayed in the pocket a lot more. Last year he stayed in the pocket more than he ever did. Kyle Orton, it was that kind of quarterback. He had He was like 15th in touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a good season.
And he had only ranked third interception.
This goes back to, look at what Asante Samuel. I want to be wanted. Right now, no one wants you.
George doesn't want to talk about himself because he's excited.
Nobody wants Kyle Orton. Kyle Orton looked at Miami and said, I want that Kevin Kolb money. Miami was like, no. He's like, all right, I'll stay in Denver then.
I tell you one person that wants Kyle Orton.
49ers?
Anybody?
Seattle?
If anybody played fantasy football like you, Brandon Lloyd wants him. Because Brandon Lloyd, people didn't realize who had the most receiving yards last year. Brandon Lloyd. And that's who was throwing to him, Kyle Orton.
Has anybody seen pictures of Jay Cutler lately?
What? What kind of pictures? What happened? Is he big?
Dude, he is skinny as hell.
Really?
He is in great shape. They were Mike Marks was on there talking about he's done so much work in the offseason. His footwork's great. His drops are better. He's thin. Like, he doesn't have that
baby face. Well, because he's a diabetic.
Well, hey, he got his shit straight. Really? I think he's physically, he's on point to have a great season.
Well, he got a rash of shit after how season
and then he gets rid of Kristen Cavallari? What was that about?
I don't know what that was about. That wasn't too smart.
Dang. On to an ex-Eagle, and we're keeping this an Eagle segment because they are the
They're just making
champs.
everybody's excited about what the Eagles are.
How can you dislike Donovan McNabb?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
That man has been through more shit than a septic tank.
He is definitely, and it's funny because George and I were talking. It's like he dealt with bullshit in Philly. He dealt with the T.O. shit, T.O. acting like a bitch and crying about stupid shit. He dealt with a lot of things, being hurt, being injured, people saying, oh, you quit. People
thrown up in the huddle, not doing well in the Super Bowl. Man.
The one thing you can say about your team is that Philly fans are fucking hard on the players. You can go score 50 touchdowns one week and next week drop the ball and they'll be like, you suck shit, And he played 10 years. Was it 10 years in that environment?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Then he comes to D.C.
And I'm sorry, Shanahan's an asshole. I've good luck. I don't like the dude. I think, I'm going to say this now, because Jimmy and I, who's not here, relax for all you people looking for Jimmy, I think the game might have passed this guy by. And what I mean by that is, Joe Gibbs came back thinking, I'm going to do what Joe Gibbs used to do. Mm-hmm. That shit didn't work.
See, I disagree.
Okay.
I didn't think Joe Gibbs thought that. I thought Joe Gibbs was kind of forced back into it, jumped at it and give it a try.
Yeah, because Joe Gibbs wrote a fat-ass paycheck.
Right. I think Joe Gibbs thought, okay, Joe Gibbs got the team to the playoffs twice out of the 3 years or whatever he was there. So he did good compared to what the other teams were doing. But Joe Gibbs left football because of free agency. He said it's going to be difficult, and he got out of it. So I think he realized that the game was changing.
I think Shanahan needs to take a step back and start looking at himself. Because to run off a guy like,
yeah.
They need an offensive line. So if you want to put and what you did is you placed the blame on Donovan McNabb, ran him out of town, benched him, and you didn't treat him. He's a veteran player. He's been through this. I don't understand why you treated him the way you did, but hey, it's your team. Do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. He needed a line. Clinton Portis is now gone. Anyone who is there and an old veteran is gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's more to Shanahan or maybe the previous coaches just dealt with too much shit.
That's just Bruce Allen.
Think so?
Being a Redskins fan, I like Donovan McNabb. I think he's a stand-up guy. I think he's great. I think at the end of the day, you got to look at him and say, you know what, man, this
John
guy's
Beck's better.
You can't look at
Rex Grossman.
We don't have a quarterback.
Do you know how bad you are when they're bringing in Rex Grossman to give you competition?
Yeah.
How many times has Rex Grossman been in D.C.? Wasn't he here when Spurrier was here?
I don't even know how. Yeah, he was. He might have been. I don't even remember. But the Redskins, I don't even know what to say. We got a long ways to go. We're in the rebuilding process, and I think that Bruce Allen is finally doing it the right way. You didn't see the Redskins going after a bunch of people, which they've done in the past. He had a tremendous amount of success getting Oakland back to the Super Bowl back a few years back when Chucky was the coach. But I think he's just like, I'm cleaning house. He's looking at the future, and he's doing it the right way. And all Redskins fans are going to have to sit back and say, okay, we're going to be a neutral for a couple of years. I've accepted that,
Now, are you ready to do the one thing that everyone's probably going to want us to do?
What?
Who you got in the Super Bowl?
Who do I have in the Super Bowl?
I got mine. Let me rephrase that. I have my NFC Championship and I have my AFC Championship.
I would have if I had the Super Bowl right now.
Just pick the NFC Championship and AFC Championship. You don't even have to pick Super Bowl.
Championship.
So you get four teams.
In the NFC Championship, I would have Green Bay and Philly.
See, I don't. I got Green Bay and Atlanta again.
Really? And I'd have
both those squads have been together longer than the Eagles.
And I think on the other side, I'd have Pittsburgh and New England.
Yep.
I'd have to go because Pittsburgh's solid and New England is,
and all those teams,
mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, New England, Atlanta's probably on the outside for me,
mm-hmm.
but Green Bay and Philly all have, in my opinion, what they've built is a plug-and-play system.
Yeah.
They all have these systems where they just take look, you want to act like a donkey? Okay, bye.
Right.
Like Deshaun Jackson. You want to hold out? Look, you're making $536,000.
Right.
I think Thursday, which would be today,
mm-hmm.
you're going to get fined $33,000 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Miss 4 days of work, and now you're making $400,000. So go ahead, hold out if you want. You will be, if you're mad about $500, what are you going to do with $400?
Right. You're exactly right about this, and they have great systems. All those teams have great systems. Now I will say this: there's one team that I think that can be up in there. I think that potentially the Colts, because of Peyton Manning, he finds a way to get up in there.
He's got no offensive weapons, and I mean none. He's got Reggie Wayne and the bad news Bears.
Well, this is the thing. The thing with Peyton Manning is that every year a lot of years he doesn't have offensive weapons, and you see these guys like when Reggie Wayne came around and Harrison was fading out, people were like, okay, who does he have? He develops them. I mean, you saw
he developed that one boy into retiring.
Who?
Austin Collie. He's
right.
done.
Well, Austin, but he developed. But that's the example.
Looking like Bernie.
The guy's fucking had 85 concussions, but
in one wake.
Yeah. Now the thing is, Peyton, they got some help at safety. They're starting to solid up their defense a little bit.
Solid up their defense.
Solidify their defense. And I think if they can keep the offense, if the defense can, if he can get the offense on the field a little bit more, where Peyton Manning's not trying to come from behind constantly, which he did last year, they got crushed with injuries last year. I think they have a chance. They're always up in there.
Where does O.C. Umenyiora go? Because now the Giants have come off we want a first round pick. Now they're like,
let me go to Philly.
Dude, trust me, I've thought about it.
I mean,
second round pick for O.C. Umenyiora?
Yeah, they were asking Andy Reid this morning. They were saying like this, going, Randy Moss is out there, and he's like, yeah. He goes, everybody's saying that we might get Randy, and I'm thinking, come out of retirement.
You know where they're thinking OC's going to go?
Where?
Detroit.
And now I'm going to tell you what. If you have him and Sue on the other
Well,
side.
Farley's in a walking boot right now, but
Yeah.
he's signed. They said he's going to be out a couple weeks. It's just a little problem. Dude, those three, good luck.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a solid, I don't care who the fourth
I
guy
think
is.
they might be the most improved team in the NFL this year.
I think I honestly, my sleeper
They might make
team
the
to make the
playoffs.
playoffs is Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah.
If Stafford can stay healthy.
Mhm.
And they said
And-
Stafford's in practice lighting it up.
Yeah. And I tell you another team that is, I think, could be a sleeper team to make the playoffs.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Nope. George, just going to try to turn us to Philadelphia. I think St. Louis.
Who?
St. Louis.
Who?
Here we go. When George starts sounding like an owl, that's basically when he's like, Kevin, shut the fuck up. I think St. Louis, the Rams.
All right, name a starting wide receiver. I'll wait. Go ahead. There's one player that I can name on the team besides the quarterback, and that's Steven Jackson. Name a wide receiver on the Rams right now.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why those motherfuckers will not be making the playoffs.
But I mean, they did pretty. They
You want to know
that's a
why?
good point.
Here's
the
here's
thing
the
is,
reason they did well,
okay.
because 7 and 8 got you in the playoffs
Yeah, that's a good.
in the NFC.
I'm not going to argue that with you. That is a. Really
I would like to see them improve, and I think they're definitely on the upswing. I think
Right.
Sam Bradford is phenomenal, but he needs more high-powered weapons around
Okay, what's
him.
wrong? What? I'm losing my mind here. What division do they sit in?
That might be the West.
Are they in the West? Aren't they?
Yeah, in the West is pure duty.
Okay,
It's shit.
George just made a great argument, and he actually won that argument. You know what I mean? Because George not constantly arguing. But I'm gonna tell you what, the fact that he forgot to.
Well, they could win the West at 7 and 8.
Now George is going. You know
Right. I mean, they could technically going 7 and 8. They could win the West because
Those niggas
that's
go to
how
the
bad
playoffs.
the fucking West and the NFC is. It is the 49ers,
the Seahawks, and then the Cardinals.
Cardinals, and Rams.
Mhm.
Holy dude!
Now the Cardinals with Wisenhunt and now with the
trifling. They gave y'all Tim Hightower.
Yeah.
Who's gonna run the battle? Beanie
The
Wells.
problem is this now.
Beanie
look at-
Wells.
Yeah.
No,
You just gave up with your cover corner. I just don't understand that.
don't bother me.
Yeah, defense wins championships.
Where did Rogers Cromartie go?
Philly? Now let's move on to boxing.
Kelly
Okay.
Pavlik did something that Kevin probably should have done at least, I don't know, 3 times. You might be asking, what did Kelly Pavlik do? He pulled out. He pulled out of his fight because, now mind you, he was supposed to fight Saturday. So this is Thursday. In 2 days, Kelly Pavlik was supposed to fight Bute.
Lucian Bute.
Let me tell you why he pulled out. It wasn't because of money. Because he looked at Lucian's record and saw, oh, that motherfucker's never lost a fight. He's going to whip my ass.
It's funny. What were the reasons they were saying he pulled it? They said it was all money.
For me, all I read about was money.
They said they're saying there's no specific reason. Okay.
Yesterday it was money. Yesterday being Tuesday.
Kelly Pavlik had just kind of had a bout with alcohol rehab. He had got out of rehab.
He was
and now-
drinking because he got his ass whooped and his head still hurt.
Yeah. At this point in time, I think everybody would have said, okay, you're going up against a guy that is undefeated. I guess 28 wins. I think 24 knockouts.
I thought he was 29 now.
And then basically, this could have been something that could have resurrected his career, and he just pulls out. I want everybody out there, boxing fans who started following us and everything, and say, okay, what do you think about this whole Kelly Pavlik situation, pulling out, and maybe by the time this video is up, something else will have developed, and we'll have a little bit more insight on why he pulled out or whatever. But we want everybody to know, why do you think Kelly Pavlik pulled the fuck out of this fight?
Kelly Pavlik's last fight went 10 rounds. An MD, does that sound from majority decision?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A 10-round fight. I thought pro fights went 12. Look, I'm trying. I don't know enough about boxing, but look, help me out. Why did he only fight a 10-round fight?
Right.
And don't call me. Look, I'm admitting I don't know. But his
Yeah.
last fight was versus Alfonso Lopez. See, I know that. I can say that shit.
Yeah.
And he won a majority decision. Before that, he got fucking UD'd in 12. And then, I guess the last time I remember watching Kelly Pavlik fight was versus Bernard Hopkins, and he got worked.
They're saying right now, Top Rank was working on a deal for Bute's promoter in a box that would have given the Top Rank Pavlik side 40% of the revenue from the fight, okay? Now, Top Rank had offered Pavlik a minimum purse of $1.35 million, plus an additional $25,000 for training expenses, which would have had increased depending on how much money the fight generated.
In other words, no one was going to watch your fight. He knew he wasn't going to get enough money, and he was going to get an ass whooping for it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
You know,
I mean,
whatever the case is, we want to see what everybody out there.
To me, that's fucked up to everyone else who's supposed to fight on that card. Does the card still go on, or is the whole thing canceled? Because if the whole thing's canceled, you're a fucking donkey, dude. Right. You just took money out of people's mouths who probably need that shit.
Right. Enough. And yeah, I just don't see why the last second. I'm sure he probably was aware of this, days before. Had some
days. Shit should have been weeks.
Weeks before. I mean, and known, and all of a sudden you're canceling the week of a fight. Anyway, moving on to MMA bullshit.
This would kind of be like a rumor, like what's kind of going on.
Right.
Bloody Elbow's got a thing on. Will Fedor be forgotten? I mean, if you look at the opponents that he fought in Japan.
Right. Well, this is the thing, man. And George and I were talking and stuff, and I think there's loads of people all over the world that just love Fedor. They love him for the type of guy he is, his legacy and everything.
Let's face it, Pride was borderline a circus show.
Yeah.
Because you fought multiple fights in a night. There were no weight classes. You just fought. I mean... and for what it was great. Yeah. But no one really knew about it at the time.
It was definitely very cultish. You know what I mean? And I think one person said actually on our comment board wrote it and said, oh, you know what? They shouldn't have fought the stop the fight so quick. I saw Fedor come back, and I went back and I looked at some of these matches where Fedor had comebacks, and there was never a time where Fedor was out and limp. But he got wobbled.
He got rocked by Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, he did get rocked by Kung Fu Panda that one time. But the fact about that fight is that this was an oversized Japanese fighter. And you know what? He wasn't even ranked. Right? He wasn't even one of the top heavyweights at the time.
And look, we are not taking anything away from anything that Fedor has ever done. Because let's face it, even if you get in there and you are 6'2", 230, and you're fighting some gigantic fucker who's 270 and can hit like a ton of bricks, you're a bad motherfucker because you won the fight. We are not. That's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're just saying that...
Yeah, well, this is what we're saying is that Fedor, every time sports evolve, you know what I mean? And competition evolves and things get harder and stuff. And when Fedor was fighting in his time frame, I mean, he was great.
Yes.
That's why he's always going to have this great legacy and everything. But MMA is snowballing. It's evolving like every year. I mean, it really is. Dude, how fast it's changing. Think about it. I mean,
who's the next John Jones?
Yeah.
I mean, where did John Jones come from? What's he, 23, 24? He's a baby.
Yeah. Cain Velasquez, these guys that are just, they're so well-rounded.
Speaking of heavyweights, we didn't talk about this on the last show. I don't know how I remember how we didn't get to talk about it because we were sleeping through the Strikeforce card. Alistair Overeem pulled out of the Grand Prix tournament because he said he hurt his toe. Right. And then Strikeforce said,
see you later.
Kick rocks, motherfucker. Which basically means Dana said, hats off to Scott Coker. Because Scott Coker is being a good soldier. He's going out there going, I want Fedor back, brand this, brand that. Dude, your fucking brand is dead. Yeah. There's 2 more major fights in Strikeforce, and it's over. And if you don't believe that, you are retarded.
It's done. I mean, you know what's funny? I wanted to see Overeem fight some of the heavyweights in the UFC and see if they could have put something together where you would have eventually seen him facing off. But this is the thing. It is a well-known fact that Overeem is jacked. You know what I mean? I mean, you can look at his physique, you know it and everything.
Kind of like Barnett?
Like Barnett. Now, look at Barnett's history. Look at all the failures. And as a promoter and being Dana White, you're saying, okay, let's say I did bring Overeem over and I set up a big fight, a super fight between him and Cain Velasquez. And I start doing all this marketing, all this promoting for this fight, and this guy fails the fucking test. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason these guys... these guys that keep failing the test, they kind of push them away. And all of a sudden, you're going to bring a guy in. You know what I mean? I mean, it's hard to keep some of these guys clean, because they're banged up, they're hurt and stuff like this. So there's a part of me, once he started pulling the toe shit, I think these guys were like, we don't need this.
No.
We really just don't need this.
No. Now, another rumor in Strikeforce, and let's see if my question to you is, do you think they'll be able to squeeze Keith Jardine in on one of these last 2 shows? Keith Jardine says he wants to fight at 185, and he wants to fight Kung Lee, and he just wants to fight somebody that he can stand and bang with. He doesn't want to have to worry about takedowns or any of that shit, and my advice to you is go be a kickboxer. If you just looking to stand and strike, stop doing MMA, because that's not what MMA is.
Right.
And for you to come out and make that kind of statement is a fucking jackass move, dude.
I mean, he for a big-name fighter, Kung Lee, which Kung Lee is, it could be a decent matchup for Keith Jardine.
He would kick his head clean.
He could, but Keith Jardine, I mean, Kung Lee gives up a lot of length to Keith Jardine because he's a tall guy and a lengthy guy, and so that could cause problems for Kung Lee. I mean, it really could. I mean, You're looking at Keith Jardine, who has fought in the UFC. He has beat some pretty decent fighters.
And he's awkward.
Yeah, and he's unorthodox as shit. So all of a sudden, yeah, I think that actually might be a good fight.
It'd be interesting. I mean, and it would be what keeps Now, here's what would drive me nuts. Keith Jardine talks all that shit, and he goes out and would try to shoot in and take him down.
He could. He might try to throw him off his game plan or something like this.
Good luck getting that fight signed.
Yes.
What else is going on?
That is pretty much it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously, we got UFC 133 this weekend. You know, Rashad Evans versus Tito Ortiz.
Supposedly, there's a video out there in its own bloody elbow that you can go check out, and it's like a behind-the-scenes kind of a UFC Welcome to 133, but it's not done by them following Rashad Evans around. And it says that if you were like me and you don't like Rashad Evans, if you watch this video, your opinion of him might change.
Right.
Therefore, I'm not watching the video.
George just doesn't even want his opinion.
No, I don't.
When George, there's something out there that can change George's opinion about a particular fighter, Rashad Evans. Chael Sonnen. He will refuse to watch it and stuff like this.
Just like Old School. I refuse to watch that movie.
Why?
Because everyone's like, it's so funny, it's so funny. I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't get it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
No.
That's probably why you haven't watched Sex Drive yet.
I can't find it.
Did you see the comment board?
Man, yes. But, and for all you other people out there who acquire things on the internet, be careful, because they just passed a brand new law that's supposed to protect child pornographers. It is requiring your ISP to keep all of your information for 1 year. And I'm not talking about just your browsing history.
Wow.
I'm talking about your name, your credit card, your purchases, your websites, and all that shit.
What are you going to do?
Proxy. Just saying.
Right.
Have a nice day.
Peace.